Alright, all you video gamers, welcome to yet another snake fighting tiger martial arts edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with a title like that, we decided to go with a video game none other than Tai-Fu Wrath of the Tiger. Very appropriate gong ring, Maestro, very appropriate. Because this game would be, I do believe, the third karate or kung fu-like related game I would be able to play in my life. So it has a special place in my heart. And not to mention a very rare game to find online too. But besides this game rarity, folks, I think it's time for us to get our chi up, prepared to find out what happened to our family, and learn some new kung fu moves along the way as we get ready to paint the picture. Alright, this video game story began approximately well over 19 years ago, and I think 3 months after my dad decided to buy me a memory card so I could play for my PlayStation. And this was a day that was extremely weird because I just got home from school and my brother and his friend Keaton was upstairs playing games, and I would notice that this game would be in his pile of games that he had upstairs. So immediately when I saw it, I asked Keaton, I said, "Hey, you mind if I could borrow that game for a couple of days, see if I could beat it?" And he would say, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And while I was playing this game, it was magic from start to finish. Not only because of the fact that I had a chance to come up with different kung fu styles, and one of the first ones I would run into would be the style of the mantis, but it also featured the fact that I had to fight these snake-like creatures that sounded like a different variety and arrangement of, different stockpile of action stars and people from over the years. And prime example of that, folks, is the second when I got out of the temple for the first level, I would run into this snake-like creature that apparently can hold some form of giant spear to try to stab me with, but I would hit him with a whole bunch of kung fu moves and the thing would go, "Wow, wow, wow." And I was like, wait a minute, I'm the tiger here, shouldn't I be making the cat noises? And as I went on to fight them and took them all out, I would see one of the snakes trying to block my way on the bridge, and it would tell me, "Use circle to pick up your enemy and throw it." And I was like, really? I can pick up enemies? Hold on. And picked up this snake, and I kid you not, folks, while I was picking it up, it sounded like Snarf from the Thundercats. It was like, "Meow, meow." It's like, what the world is wrong with this game? And needless to say, after I had me a good laugh, I threw it down the waterfall and realized that I made a mistake when I threw it down there because it had a power-up that I could have used to beat the rest of the snakes in the area. But as I made my way further through this game, through that level, I learned a couple of combinations, including a high roundhouse spin kick that I did to one of the snakes that I was able to take it out with. And to make this game even greater, folks, you also had a chance to do different taunts to the said creatures as you took them on. And after I took on like 3 snakes, after they told me I had to take them all out to get to the next area, I would crack my knuckles and say, "Your kung fu's no good." And it would only get better from there, folks, because after I unlocked the mantis power and was making my way to the leopard castle, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, there was a leopard castle in this game, I would also be able to run into these giant, burly, big, strong snakes that would end up going, "Ow, ow, ow." And if you're wondering out there, yes, they did sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And to make things even better, when I picked them up off the ground, they would go, "Oh, put me down, put me down." And it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put you down, all right. And I would see the snake, and I would see this giant bamboo spike pit over in the corner, and my inner Mortal Kombat went off, and I decided to throw it towards the snake pit, and it would go, "Argh," and die instantly on those said spikes. Now, after a couple of days and Keaton would come back to return for the game, I would show him a couple of cool things that I learned in the game during the final level, including this Ken Masters or Ryu uppercut that looked like a Shoryuken that I would get for the final power of the game. And he would show me something cool too. The fact that he was able to find the cheats for the game to actually activate the level select mode, and I would go back to the first level with those Arnold Schwarzenegger snakes and the Snarf snakes, and I would say, oh, hold on, I want to do one last thing before I give this game back to you, and he would say, alright, cool. Now, granted folks, before I would do this one last thing, I realized I got a little bit too cocky and power hungry once I unlocked all of the powers of the game and the ability to go back to the second level of the game to try to do a couple more funny things to those snakes, because once I'd made my way to that giant oversized bamboo pit next to that big burly Arnold Schwarzenegger-like snake man, I would do the tiger uppercut that I would do to defeat the final boss in the game, going, oh! And I would lift him up in the air as high as I possibly could, not realizing when I jumped in the air like that, I was right above the spike pit and landed right on it and killed myself instantly, which made me and Keaton laugh so hard, I actually turned the game off, gave him back the disc, and we laughed all the way back downstairs before heading back to his house after I gave him the game. And to that day, folks, that would be the last time I would ever put my hands on that game after that very embarrassing death I would suffer in the world of Kung Fu. And with that said, folks, wraps it up for yet another snake fighting tiger martial arts edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with that, we'll be back with more right after this. So stay tuned.